the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up.
Good day. Welcome to PagePedia Videography Challenge. My name is Umerina Sandra, your host for today. With us, we have the CEO of NASD PLC, a man whose life is worthy of emulation and entrepreneur. Please welcome with me Mr. Bola Ajomale. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
So, sir, could you please tell us about yourself?
I'm a chartered accountant, I'm a chartered stockbroker. I read economics at the University of Leeds, and I've worked for the last 20 years, more than 20 years, on the capital market.
Oh, okay. Is that all you want us to know about you? Isn't there more to you?
There's a lot more. I'm a Christian.
Okay.
I'm definitely God-fearing. I like to believe that people in them have a bit of good. Everyone has a bit of good in them, and everyone has potential to do something positive for society as well.
Okay. So please, could you tell us about NASD?
NASD is a trading platform
Okay.
for securities that are not listed on the main market, the Nigerian Stock Exchange.
Okay.
So what we do is we create an avenue for investors to get into and out of securities,
Okay.
and get that liquidity and also get transparency with it.
Okay.
So it's an open platform where you can bring in securities, offer them for sale, seek a buyer, get the best price offered for those securities, for that security as well. And at the end of the deal, also be able to have a record of the transaction, so that there's no middleman who is giving you one price and giving the seller another price, or giving the buyer one price and the seller another.
Okay.
Again, what the platform does is it's a bit like how Nigeria rebased the economy.
Okay.
It rebases the size of the capital market, because initially, when you heard of capital market, most people would think of the Nigerian Stock Exchange as the extent of the capital market. But what this has done is it expanded the scope by at least 400, 500 billion, which is what we have identified as another part of the economy directly in equities that has never been accounted for before.
Okay, so when was NASD established in Nigeria?
Okay, so NASD started as an association.
Okay.
And so the NASD actually means National Association of Securities Dealers.
Okay.
It started as an association in the mid-90s.
Oh, okay.
And the purpose of that, again, was that association was just looking at how do we create a market around a transparent market. And transparency really is the watchword here. How do we create a transparent market around the trading of non-listed securities?
Okay.
In 2011, we then got an approval in principle from the Securities and Exchange Commission to actually form a market. So we decided to incorporate a company, which is why it's called NASD PLC. So we actually incorporated as a company. We have 59 shareholders.
Okay.
And those shareholders essentially are capital market operators.
Okay.
So what we have done is, since 2011, we have then opened market, established rules for practice, invited in stockbrokers to come and trade on the platform. And so we now have a community of about 200 participating institutions, we call them, but essentially operators on the market who will trade shares on an investor's behalf. We have about 207 of those registered to trade on the market.
Okay.
We have established trades in excess of about 70 billion on the market since the time we've started. And as time goes on, we're actually building more traction.
Okay.
Again, what the NSD is going to do, because it creates secondary value, and creates, well, not creates secondary value, but it creates a secondary market for transactions. What we are going to do is we're going to go upstream into the developmental side of the economy. So for SMEs and startup companies, for example, we would be there eventually to support these companies, to enable them grow so that we can encourage growth in the economy, to form a channel through which they can access funds, grow, and those funds can also exit. The investors in those companies can exit in an orderly fashion as well.
Okay.
We are going to go in a different direction upstream as well into the private equity market, where private equity investors, when they've invested in a company for, say, 6 or 7 years and they want to exit, we will create a ready market for them to exit through.
Okay.
So again, what it's doing is expanding the scope of activity in the capital market. It's creating a lot more transparency in the market, and of course, where there's transparency, there's more confidence. So we're building the level of confidence in the capital market, again, creating the kind of terrain that foreign long-term investments, not trading, not speculative investment, but foreign long-term investment can actually come and look at Nigeria and say, you know, if I get into this country, I can get out as well in an orderly fashion. So that's the kind of thing that we're creating.
Oh, okay. So could you describe to us a typical work week? I mean, how you organize yourself on daily? How you organize yourself daily?
Day to day, it's not. It's hardly ever the same from one day to the next, which is one of the great joys about working in NASD, and one of the great joys about doing what we're doing. It's a very entrepreneurial effort. It has started from scratch, and so with every passing day, there's a new rule to pass.
Okay.
There's a new situation on the market. There is a new company to attract into the market. There is a new prospect that you would like to speak with. There's a new process that you want to put in place.
Okay.
So it's a build effort from scratch, which is quite exciting. Can be very long hours. Sometimes there are hours that take you away from the office for the whole day. So it's not that you wake up in the morning, you come into the office at 8, and you know that by 12 o'clock you're going to this. It tends to be planned, but it tends to be very different.
Yeah.
So I think one of the things that the work in NESD requires is a certain kind of versatility certainly a lot of flexibility, because situations will arise, new things will come up almost every passing day.
Okay. So what would you say for now is your greatest career accomplishment for now?
For now, I think the fact that the market is here and is here to stay, I think it crowns my career. As I said, I'm a chartered accountant. I trained in Ernst & Young as an accountant. I trained as a stockbroker in City Securities, CSL Stockbrokers. I won't say trained, but I worked as an analyst and a consultant in Augusto & Co. I've worked in Canada Pension Plan Investment Board as a reporting and valuation associate. I've worked in a merchant bank as an investment banker, and I headed syndications and structured privatization transactions and so on. What this role has done is it has it's tapped every single thing that I've learned in each of those roles. And this is probably a work effort of over 25 years. Quite a lot of what I've learned in all those places has come to bear at some point or another in my role here. So the fact that this market is running, the fact that this market has received the buy-in of the Security and Exchange Commission, the apex regulator of the capital market, the fact that we have got stockbrokers registered to trade on the platform. We've got 27 companies trading on the platform right now. And we're beginning to see even bonds trading on the platform. The fact that it's growing in such a manner quite consistently, and we're building processes on a daily basis, I think I am fairly happy with what we have done so far. But at the same time, I'm extremely excited about what we can do going forward, and I'm very anxious to get there. So if I say my accomplishments, I think that we got started, but I can also see that there's just so much we can do tomorrow that there's no point looking at your accomplishments because you have not yet done what is coming tomorrow. And you can actually see it. I mean, you can see the potential for this market to spread across West Africa, for example. You can see the potential for this market to trade derivative products. You can see the potential for this market to fund infrastructure products, infrastructure growth in the economy. So there's so much that we can see coming down the line that it might be limiting to start looking at accomplishments at this moment.
Yeah, I get you. So if you could do anything differently, I mean, if you could do everything you've done over again, what would you do differently?
What we probably would want to do differently is define our products differently, the products we started off with. And we started off with equity.
Okay.
And that's A lot to do with the constituency. With our constituency, we're essentially owned by stockbrokers who are focused a lot on equity products. I think what we would do differently is we would have started off with quite a few other product lines. We are known to be a market that trades equity products. In actual fact, we have the opportunity and we have the capacity to trade many other asset classes. I think what we would have done is we would have encouraged the growth of all those asset classes at the same time, as opposed to concentrating on equity and then having to break away from that into the other asset classes. That said, what that has done for us, though, it has established a market. It has cornered as well. It has plucked what people say the low-hanging fruit, which is all those equities that did not have a market anyway. So it's allowed us to go after those ones first, establish a market, get that market up and running, and then it's left us now with free time to go and do many other things, knowing that. And again, it's allowed us to build a lot of confidence in those who would be our participants. So what would I do differently? Maybe I'd have opened up with new assets, but at the same time, I'm happy that we started with this one.
Okay, yeah. As a decision maker, you make huge decisions every day. How do you keep your feelings or your emotions from clouding your decision making?
If you're lucky enough to have the kind of team I have, people who back you up with, who you can bounce ideas off, as well as very confident professionals who can, I won't say challenge, but who can refine your thought process, then even if your emotions do get in the way, you do have a team that would say, you know, do you want to take a minute or two and think about it? I think I'm also a very, even though I'm a slightly impatient person in terms of getting things done, I also tend to mull things over. I'm not impulsive in getting things done. So even if, or in doing things, I'm not impulsive. So even if I have an emotional response to a situation, an emotional response being, I wish I could do this kind of emotional response, I probably would think about it in practical terms as well. Is it practical? Is it pragmatic for us to go about it this way? Or is there something that is far more reasonable for us to do? So, and you have to leave leeway for it, because really what you're trying to do is not to satisfy your emotions. What you're trying to do is you're trying to build an institution. So it's one of those, you must be conscious, and I'm very conscious of the fact that I'm not doing this for myself. I'm doing this for the capital market community, but as for you know, for the country as a whole as well. So once you have that at the back of your mind, it's a good trigger.
Okay. In the spirit of PagePedia tradition, our guest for the day, which is you, sir, is to challenge 2 or more people you like to get on the platform and have a sit with us. So please, would you look into the camera while you do that?
I think the whole of the capital market is being carried and being led by the apex regulator, the SEC, the Security and Exchange Commission. I therefore would like to challenge the Director General of the Security and Exchange Commission, Malam Munir Guazo, to lead this market along the path that he has chosen very wisely, to lead us down the 10-year master plan and implement that 10-year master plan and lead us through that 10-year master plan. I believe that in 10 years' time, the capital market in Nigeria would be the hub of capital formation in West Africa, if not Africa. And I think this is the time for the Director General of the Security and Exchange Commission to get us there. So I think that
you'll challenge him. Okay, thank you very much, sir. So what word of advice do you have for younger generation, people who look up to you as a source of inspiration? What word of advice do you have for them?
Be professional. In other words, keep your eye on the ball. Don't get distracted. Know where you're headed and know what you want to achieve. Be versatile. In other words, learn as much as you can and be ready to apply it when you can. Be flexible. Not everything goes your way at the time you want it to. And you might enter into some roles and think, this is not what I want to do. But you never know. The learning you get from that will be valuable to you in future, which is what I found. Because of my flexibility and versatility, I'm doing this right now.
Okay. You've heard it all. Be flexible, be versatile, know what you want. And even if things don't go your way yet, just be flexible. It's been PagePedia Videography Challenge, and I remain your host, Umerina Sandra. Thank you very much, sir, for having us.
You're welcome.
We've come to the end of this segment. Join us on www.pagepedia.com for more videos. Thank you.